Hello, and welcome to the third episode of our Next in Cloud series. I am Sandip Gupta. I'm the managing director at Accenture, and I also lead the Accenture Google Business Group for Asia Pacific, Middle East, and Africa. In our recent research done by Accenture, we show that the companies that have embedded sustainability in their operations and culture are more profitable than those that have not, with sustainability leaders outperforming laggards by 21%. In this episode, we will discuss how sustainable technology creates new value and the role that the CIO plays in driving integrated tech and sustainability strategies. We will also share the challenges enterprises face in this journey, identify how they can get started, and we'll showcase what Accenture and Google are doing together to help organizations make sustainable tech a reality. Today with me, I have a special guest from Google Cloud, Gustavo Fuchs, who is the Director of Solutions and Technology for the APAC region. He will share his point of view on this topic. Welcome, Gustavo.
Thank you so much for having me, Sandeep. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for being here with us. Now, if we look at what's going on in the market, really enterprises are facing five compounding pressures, which are really creating a new sense of urgency around sustainability. Now, these five areas where they're getting the pressure from are one, for example, are the investors' pressures. Investors are expecting the companies to achieve a certain set of sustainability goals, ESG goals. Second, consumers. Consumers are becoming very, very aware of the environment and also want to buy or purchase products and services from companies that are sustainable and also are environmental aware of the environment. Third, not to forget, the governments and the regulatory bodies are putting a lot of pressure on these companies to make sure they move towards sustainability and get to a level what is mandated by the governments. Employees are no less. Employees want to work for companies that have sustainability as a purpose. Thus, productivity goes up. And not to forget, internally within these companies, there's a lot of delivery pressure to drive sustainability and ESG performance. So really, if you look across to achieve these goals, companies, tech and sustainability strategies must be much more closely aligned. The C-suite, together with the CIO, who's a catalyst for change, have to think about a few elements as part of the sustainable tech strategy, where when we look at sustainability and tech, there are three kind of streams of thinking. One is sustainability by tech. What that means is how is technology being used and the technology innovation being used to drive sustainability across the business to transform not only the business, but also the business model. And we'll talk about it in detail in the subsequent discussion. Second is sustainability in tech, which means that what are the components of technology, whether it is your devices, whether it is cloud, whether it's data and AI, how that itself is contributing to the sustainability mandate and the ESG strategy that the company has. And between these two, the third piece is that how is this being used at scale? How do you orchestrate technology by tech or in tech to really drive this and solve the wicked problem of this current era and drive a sustainable future? Thinking about that now, while technology can help achieve sustainability goals, it's also important to make sure it doesn't become the problem. Gustavo, what do you think? What is your take on that?
Those are very interesting points, Sandeep. I think technology has been a primary driver of digital transformation. And in our next era of driving sustainability, we need to be very conscious of how is technology not only enabling us to green our existing applications, which is what in Google Cloud we call greening your IT, but also we can actually leverage technology in a sustainable way to improve your own operations across the different set of industries. when companies are looking to drive technology towards sustainability, choosing ways and platforms that enable them to do this at scale and in a sustainable way, using free carbon energy, and actually modernizing their applications to be very efficient is super important. As an example, a single AI model, which is being adopted by companies in large scale, be it digital natives or enterprises, can use more power and energy than 5 cars in their own lifetime. So making sure that this technology is being deployed and utilized in a sustainable way is important. One example I would love to mention is our recent partnership with MAS, the financial regulator, monetary authority in Singapore, where they actually developed a program where we are part of that is not only incentivizing companies to come to that digital and sustainable environment by adopting the cloud, but also are developing new technologies that will enable the broad market to benefit from digital solutions in a very sustainable fashion. Sandeep, I think you mentioned also that sustainability in tech is a key parameter on how Accenture is advising customers across the globe. Could you actually share some of the key tenets in Accenture's view of what the CIO has to think about in this ever-evolving environment?
The CIO has to think about multiple things. One is sustainable IT, which is kind of covering a whole bunch of things. But one of the key areas there is e-waste. They have to think about what is the equipment that they're buying, whether it's computers, screens, devices, servers, and the list goes on. Whether these devices are saving energy. For example, like we're sitting in this room and the lights can go off because the switches are planned that way. So one is to think about that, and second is also to think about the e-waste, because what happens is each of these devices have a life, and what is the manufacturing and the components behind it, so that when it dies down, where does it end up? So that's one example of sustainable IT in general. Second piece is we talk about sustainable software, because software is kind of driving a lot of things, but underlying softwares, there's a lot of platforms that are going on, whether it is the data and AI platform, whether it's a cloud platform, whether it is other platforms. So they need to make sure that they are selecting the right platforms, the programming languages, and designing the architecture and the experience. So easier navigation, readable content, and also accessibility really cuts down the time, resulting in direct reduction of carbon emission. Now, one of the key areas that we all are trying to leverage today in our IT is cloud. Now, we've seen that migration to public cloud can really achieve significant carbon reduction in the form of literally 5 to 10% decrease in total IT emission, or the tons of CO2 that is emitted globally, which is like taking millions of cars off the road. However, cloud migration can come with sustainability challenges. For example, moving large quantities of data to and from cloud requires a lot of energy. This is where energy efficient software models like using the edge AI can help organizations realize the green benefits of cloud migration. So I think these are some examples of what are some of the key tenets that the CIO has to think about when they're thinking of picking equipment, designing the software, designing the experience. And by the way, not to forget what is coming, which is distributed ledger, crypto, metaverse. All of these are going to really impact the sustainability agenda of that the CIO is trying to drive. Recently, both Accenture and Google worked with a company called Origin Energy in Australia, where Origin Energy, being an energy provider, has solar business as a key part of their business, and they wanted to provide a different level of experience and engagement with the consumer who's buying a solar roof from Origin Energy. So we created a solution where a consumer can come to Origin Energy's website and put in their address. An outcome would be in a couple of hours, they will get a quote for the price of the roof, the energy savings they have, what part of the year, what kind of savings they would get, and also a quote for the price of the roof. And that was only possible because we were able to bring multiple pieces of technology together, which is using the Google Earth and the Google Maps, and also use the layout technology to really see how many solar panels can you overlay on the roof, and also use the data and AI engine to calculate the best possible scenarios for saving energy. So in this process, not only Origin Energy was able to achieve its sustainability goal, but also impact the environment and also help the consumer in this journey. But Gustavo, what's stopping enterprises from taking the required steps to meet their sustainability goals? What are you seeing out there, and where should they be focusing their effort?
Absolutely, Sandeep. I think the sustainability topic has been growing in importance, and many companies are actually investing in new functions as part of the C-suite as the chief sustainability officer, which is definitely putting the requirements. I would say that historically, from all the conversations we're having with our customers across industries, the lack of investment has been a historical reason. I think many IT organizations are still spending the majority of their investments towards maintaining existing systems versus modernizing those systems. And this is also always a very important moment in terms of when to transition. Of course, the historical focus and the requirements from regulators were not there historically. And as you think about sustainability, because we are still in a moment with formation of the market, there are very different solutions and standards that are being presented. So we are spending significant time with our customers across many industries to provide our point of view and to help those leaders focus. Now, when we think about those areas of focus, we see primarily 4 points where we believe leaders and organizations will get the best results for them. The first, and I would say probably the one that creates the biggest impact across industries, is around digital sustainability. All organizations, all top enterprises and businesses across the many markets we have in Asia Pacific have a big install base of their IT systems. Some of those might be on-premise legacy systems, some others might be on the cloud. So making sure that those systems are utilizing the newest technologies that enable them to operate in a sustainable manner is very important. We have, for example, new capabilities that we have within Google Cloud, such as Carbon Assist, which actually enables companies to define which types of workloads should be running on the cloud in a sustainable way. And even the possibility now of companies reporting in their scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions of workload running on Google Cloud. So this is something that for any company that has systems today, they can benefit from that today. Second, and that might be more appealing to certain industry than others, I'll probably choose manufacturing and consumer packaged goods, CPG, is the aspect of developing and enabling their sustainable value chains. So we have a set of capabilities leveraging our historical Google Earth and Earth Engine capabilities that enables them to leverage all the data they have in their systems, but also data across their value chain, be it where the palm oil plantations their products utilize are evolving into their packages. And that's actually one of the references we have globally with Unilever. Third one, which is especially important for the financial services industry, is around ESG process transformation. A lot of the investments, and that continues to be a growing trend of financial institutions and the criteria they utilize to make investments and provide credit to organizations takes into consideration their ESG stance of businesses. But the challenge here is that a lot of the data that is utilized to make those decisions is very much distributed and unstructured across many different sources. So we have a set of partnerships with industry data repositories and data sets that can be incorporated into our cloud. And then, of course, we started working with many financial institutions that are leveraging the power of that. HSBC is a global example that is leveraging those capabilities. And then finally, climate risk and resilience continues to be a growing trend, especially with the climate change that we are seeing across our markets. So making sure that we are helping companies protect their physical assets, leverage climate information as part of the deployment and the maintenance of those assets is super key. So not only with Google Cloud Solutions, but with a vast, broad set of partners we have across the market, we're helping many industries on this, including entities in the public sector, as well as private entities across our markets. Sandeep, the CIO is playing a very important role in driving forward the organization's sustainability strategy, in the same way that CIOs played a key role in enabling the digital transformation. Can you share a little bit of your perspective on how you see the role of the CIO executing and helping drive that thought leadership within the organization C-suite?
Similarly, I think CIOs must have to take a fresh look at their technology through the lens of sustainability. Creating and implementing a comprehensive, sustainable tech strategy, one that makes technology more sustainable and uses the technology to drive sustainability at scale, is now the core mission of the purpose-driven CIO. And here, the key point here is purpose-driven, because the responsibility is above and beyond the enterprise. It is to the society, it's the consumer, it is the customers, the partners, and so on and so forth. So the responsibility is really huge, but the opportunity is even bigger. In seizing it, CIOs will really have to drive new sources of value while leading the way to a more sustainable future. I think I spoke about sustainability in tech. When you talk about sustainability by tech, I think there are a few other points that the CIOs have to keep in mind. One, I think you talked about the sustainable value chain. How do you use technology to drive that? But on the other hand, to look at how do you build a sustainable organization that can support different functions of the business. Also, the measurement, reporting, and performance of the ESG goals, which is very much data driven, because when you look at reporting this and you talk about scope 1 to scope 3, data is critical, because the data, you have to source that data not internally, but also from your partners, your customers, and so on and so forth, and third-party bodies that are also collecting this data, and put it all together to show really where it can impact. And finally, promoting sustainable choices for customers. That also is very much driven by IT and data. So these are some areas where, when you talk about sustainability by tech, the CIOs have to start thinking of how can you use technology to build a better future, not only for the enterprise and its customers, but society at large. So I think I talked about sustainability in tech and the role cloud will play in that. And I think Google Cloud being a significant player in this space, it'd be great to hear, Gustavo, from you. What is the role hyperscalers like Google Cloud can play to support this strategy and the journey that the CIO is taking?
Absolutely, Sandeep. We are very excited about the opportunity to help CIOs and their businesses in that sustainability journey. I think from a Google Cloud perspective, we believe that first, leveraging our capabilities of our open cloud, both in the areas of infrastructure and application modernization, we can help them modernize all their existing applications and system to a world and to a cloud that they are operating at efficiency with the right energy efficiency. And at the same way, they can modernize their applications to be leveraging the newest technologies. At the same time, as technology needs and as the business needs continues to evolve, we would leverage our data cloud, not only with our analytics, AI, and geospatial capabilities, which are very unique to Google Cloud, to help them support the business areas and the ever-evolving needs of connecting with partners, operating across boundaries, and leveraging the power of data so they can take this to the next level. And of course, doing this in a scalable and sustainable fashion.
Great. I think those are very valuable points. And thanks, Gustavo. I think thanks for sharing the discussion with me and providing your point of view, and your insights are really valuable. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate it, Sandeep. It's been a pleasure having this dialogue with you. Very excited about the partnership with Google and Accenture and the possibilities of us helping businesses across Asia Pacific on their sustainability journey.
Great. Folks, as you know, ESG is a boardroom conversation and a top priority initiative for a lot of our enterprise clients. Technology is a key component to drive the sustainability agenda, and CIOs will play a key role to drive the purpose and the strategy. Sustainability in tech, sustainability by tech, and doing it at scale are the key areas for this sustainable tech strategy. Google, with its Green Cloud initiatives and the supporting platforms and initiatives, is leading the charter. And combined with Accenture's sustainability offerings, we can together help enterprises leapfrog their competition and also do good for the society. Thanks for listening to us. We look forward to your comments and feedback on this topic. Till the next time, thank you.